So currently we are discussing chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. Of course, a pretty technical chapter, and I'm not sure how much you're able to grasp the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But of course, when you look at Bhagavad Gita from the point of view of essence of the Bhagavad Gita, it becomes very easy to understand. The essence of the Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, towards the end, where Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma suchaha. So like that Krishna says in the 18th chapter, saying, my dear Arjuna, whatever I have spoken, even if you have not understood anything till now, no problem. I'll speak one essential verse, and that's the conclusion of whatever I have spoken to you. And what was that? Krishna tells Arjuna that whatever dharma or adharma, whatever is there, even dharmas mentioned in the Vedas, if it is coming as an obstruction to your surrender to me, put it aside. Sarva dharman parityajya. Such dharmas you give up and simply take shelter of my lotus feet. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. He says me only. Mam ekam. Ekam means me alone. No one else. He doesn't say take shelter of me. Apart from that, have multiple shelters in this world. He doesn't say. He says just take shelter of me. Then what will happen? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. Then I will free you from all kinds of sinful reactions, sinful tendencies, and I can free you from all kinds of fear, from all kinds of illusion. And therefore, towards the end of Bhagavad Gita, it is said, wherever there is the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and wherever there is a devotee like Arjuna, such a place has opulence, there is victory and morality. How many of you are looking for these things? Opulence, victory and morality? You can be honest. No, you don't want opulence? We're all looking for opulence and all, so many of these things. So, therefore, when we understand what is the goal of Bhagavad Gita study, then we understand Krishna, at the end of every chapter, Krishna tells Arjuna, whatever yoga path he may be explaining to Arjuna, towards the end of the chapter or in the middle, somewhere he tells, Arjuna, don't worry so much about it, just surrender to me. Again and again. Isn't it? So, it's very clear when we study the Bhagavad Gita, the goal of Bhagavad Gita is to develop love for Krishna and become his devotee. And how to become his devotee? That is also very simple. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhya jimam namaskuru mame vishasya satyam te pratijani priyosi me. Krishna tells Arjuna, my devotees, man mana bhava mad bhakto, my devotees are those who have completely absorbed me in their minds. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji, that means they have made me their worshipable object of their lives. Madhyaji mam namaskuru, every day they come to my temple and offer their obeisances and respects to me. Mam evaishya satyam te pratijani priyosami, like that eventually they will come to me. This is the definition of a devotee, Krishna says. So now, understanding the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, now you can look at any chapter. It may be first chapter, second chapter till 18th chapter. Whatever technicalities may be there, you can easily understand that the whole purpose of these technicalities is finally to surrender to Krishna. Isn't it? We don't have to break through the technicalities to understand what the goal of life is. Okay. So, last time we were discussing the third chapter verses, what, from 6 to 9 last time? Any idea? It was so technical, we don't even know what verses were discussed. Any idea what verses were being discussed? It
was 6 to 9.
6 to 9, no?
Yeah.
I don't ask what was the 6 to 9. Someone is bringing them copies of the Bhagavad Gita?
Samakshro has gone, let me check.
Okay, you have told it?
Yeah.
Because I know how they recite the verse. No TV also.
Phones.
Phones, you can go to vedabase.io and all our books are there.
Right.
Oh, the TV, there's no remote, it's a complete mess. So, can they get copies of the Bhagavad Gita?
नहीं तरुण प्रभु went, I think. Tarun
Tarun
Prabhu.
Prabhu went.
I remember it's time less of one phone. It saves times and effort.
Let him get In the meantime, you can just take it on your phone. Or unless you can hear and repeat. Yeah? Can you repeat? Yajñātāt karmanonyatra
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
मुक्तसङ्गसमाचर.
मुक्तसङ्गसमाचर.
Okay. You have the screen up. The Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I'll just take it up here. For a Mac user, Windows becomes a little difficult. Okay. Now the remote is missing basically.
Now it's working.
Now it's working.
The screen, tilt over.
No, it will reflect if सीधा किया तो
Oh.
lights.
Okay, this is what we repeated. We can repeat again. Yajñātāत् karmanonyatra
अज्ञात कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
मुक्तसङ्गसमाचर.
मुक्तसङ्गसमाचर.
Can someone read? Translation loudly.
Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain free from
Till
bondage.
here we had covered last time. So now next section of the Bhagavad Gita. From text 10 to 16. Krishna inspires Arjuna by explaining about how to practice karma yoga. How to come from the platform of karma kanda to karma yoga. Does anyone know what karma kanda is? What is it?
Rituals performed as per Vedic scriptures for certain fruits
Yeah.
or goals.
Well, basically it is you worship a god or you perform yajna to derive something in return. That is karma kanda. So karma yoga means we perform karma but for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. And it helps us become more Krishna conscious. So from 10 to 16, Krishna is going to explain about how to come to the platform of karma yoga. Hare Krishna. So I gave the title of this section as how to live a happy life, and you will find out why. How many of you are looking to live a happy life? Everyone really? Not really, Gaurav, he's already happy. Krishna gives an important principle to practice in life if we really want to be happy or live a happy life, fulfilled life. Sahayagnya prajashishtva
यज्ञ प्रजाशिष्ट्वा
Vacha prajapatihi
स्ववाच प्रजापति
Anena prasavishyadvam
अनेन प्रसिद्धिशम्
Esha vostrishtva kama bhuk
ईशवोऽस्य कामभुक्
Esha vostrishtva kama bhuk. Tongue twister, no?
In the beginning of creation. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generation of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna sacrifice, because it is performed, because this performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation."
So Krishna, in the beginning of creation, Krishna sent forth all generation of species. So though the scientists say, Darwin's theory and evolution theory, initially there was some single cellular organism which evolved by natural selection and finally, aquatics came, amphibians came, then land mammals came, finally humans came, isn't it? So actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, and of course, across the Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned. Actually, at the beginning of creation, all species were in existence, and this is backed up by archaeological evidence, which says even you can look at archaeological evidence 2 million years ago. You will find both the fossils of apes as well as humans side by side. You'll never find humans and dig deeper, some apes, dig deeper, some aquatic or amphibian and then aquatic and then single cell. You'll not find like this. And how much ever deeper you may dig, you'll always find the fossils of multiple species at the same time. So therefore what the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic scriptures say is backed up by archaeological evidences. So here it is said, in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods. Okay? So along with that, he just didn't see what is the purpose of demigods. Can you name some of the demigods? Indra,
Vayu,
Vayu, Agni,
Varuna.
Varuna, Surya,
Chandra.
out of thousands and thousands of other demigods, isn't it? So many demigods. The purpose of or the roles of the demigods is that they're administrators of the cosmic or universal government. They all head a department. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, therefore, this is the role of the demigods. So, if Lord Shiva is appointed as the in charge of the mode of ignorance, and he takes charge of the pralaya. When the destruction of the universe has to happen, Lord Shiva comes into picture. When the creation of the universe has to happen, under the direction of Vishnu, Brahma comes. When the sustenance, maintenance of the creation has to happen, Vishnu comes. Similarly, you will find when the rains and thunderbolts have to come, Indra is there. Similarly, you will find when wind has its role to be played, then Vayu is there. And though we can see the sun globe, actually behind the working of a sun globe there is Surya Deva, Surya Dev. In this way, the demigods actually run these departments. Nothing is by chance. The Big Bang theory of the modern scientists says millions and millions of years ago there was a point, there was one small infinitesimal point which cannot be measured, mathematically not measurable, physically undescribable, but highly potent, lot of energy, infinite amount of energy, and at a certain point in time it blasts to give shape to the beautiful harmonious universe. So our question to such scientists is, when the bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, was it construction or destruction? Destruction. If by having an explosion you can give result to such harmonious universe, I would say it would be a good business idea. If anyone is looking for some visa, open up a business called as small bank construction. They talk about big bang. Of this small bank construction company. So if you want to build some parks and skyscraper buildings, just take some bomb, TNT, dynamite, just burst it over there. Probably a skyscraper may come out. This is the logic of the modern day scientists. There was a point blast millions of years ago, and this led to a harmonious, organized universe. How is it possible? Isn't it? So therefore, here it is mentioned, Krishna says that this is not the truth. Under the direction of Lord Vishnu, Brahma creates this universe where there are 14 planetary systems. And we are just occupying one planetary system. In that also we are very minute. Our galaxy is very minute in that. And to help run all these things, Krishna has put demigods in place. They are in charge of all these departments. Even for eyesight, if one is proud, I can see everything. For that also there is Ashwini Devatas. To see, to smell, there are one set of Devatas. To hear, there is another set of Devatas. Third kind of Srimad Bhagavatam mentions this. And therefore, you will find these demigods have roles to play in the government of the universe. So therefore, in the beginning of creation, Lord Vishnu sent humans, men, and other creatures, and also the demigods. And along with humans and demigods, whom all did he, what else did he send? Kamdev. Demigods ho gaya. He sent Yajna. Isn't it? You can see here. And along with sacrifices, generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu. Why? Because without sacrifice, we cannot be happy. And that's how this material world is designed. This material world is designed in such a way that material prosperity, even material prosperity, is encouraged only by performance of yajna, by sacrifice. Okay? And you will find, why should we live a life of sacrifice? When I say happy living is based on a life of sacrifice, that means happy living is based on yajna. How many of you know what yajna is? I am saying sacrifice, but what do you understand by yajna?
I think of the fire thing,
Fire,
the
homa.
ritual.
Okay. Anything else? Any other idea of sacrifice?
In a broader meaning, doing the work for some other higher goal or for somebody else.
Yeah, very good. That is actual meaning. So therefore, when you see this homa and they put rice grains and everything, what is the yajna? Actually, they are saying these rice grains belong to Vishnu. Idam namama. These are not mine. So therefore, in such yajnas, one is actually saying that all these elements, what I am putting in the yajna, belongs to the Supreme Lord. Sometimes similarly, you will find if you have read Krishna book or watched Krishna's Little Krishna, see you will find that during Govardhan pastime, why did Indra get mad? Because Krishna told Nand Maharaj not to worship Indra. Yeah, not to do the sacrifice. Why? Because demigods also benefit from the sacrifices we perform. It's called Ahuti. Then they get fed. They get strength. So therefore, in this world there is a symbiotic relationship. What is symbiotic relationship? There is some level of dependency, mutual dependency. For example, we need oxygen. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Trees take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So therefore, we both support one another. Isn't it? Similarly, we feed the cows. We take care of the cows, and cow gives
Milk.
human milk. Of course, people kill cow. That is not part of the equation. That came later, not part of the cycle, symbiotic relationship. Similarly, whether it be animals, whether it be nature, whether it be the demigods, we are all living in cooperation in this world. So as soon as we don't cooperate, immediately there is disturbance. So as and when people become more and more materialistic and forget performance of Vedas, performance of yajnas as mentioned in the Vedas, then what happens is the demigods are displeased, then the land is affected by famines, droughts, and so many other disturbances, earthquakes and tsunamis, so many other things happen. Because people become more and more atheistic and materialistic. So then there is no pleasing of Indra. Similarly, you will find when Krishna told Nanda Maharaj, you don't have to actually worship Indra. Why? Because actually Krishna gives strength to Indra to give out rains. In Brahma Samhita it is mentioned, even many of us worship Ganapati for success. Just before exam, you have so much faith Ganapati will give success. Even though we may fail that particular exam, but next time again we will go. Probably this time he will help us. But where does Ganapati get this strength from? It is said in Brahma Samhita that Ganapati is a worshipper of Lord Nrsimhadev. So Lord Nrsimhadev is also known as Vignaharta, one who removes obstacles in life. So he gets the power to give success to people or remove obstacles from Nrsimhadev. In this fashion, all the powers of the demigods are derived from the Supreme Lord Krishna only. So scriptures mention that. So in this way we are always living in symbiotic relationship, and therefore Lord Vishnu says, be thou happy by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. That means you can be happy in this world and also aim for liberation. That means get unentangled in this world. Yeah, can you just repeat this? See, this is mentioned by in Srimad Bhagavatam. श्रियापतिर यज्ञपति प्रजापतिर
श्रियापति यज्ञपति प्रजापतिर
धियां पतिर लोकपतिर धरापतिः
धियापति लोकपति धरापति
पतिर्गतिश्चान्दक वृष्णिसात्वताम्
पतिर्गतिश्चान् विष्णुसात्वताम्
प्रसीदतां मे भगवान् सतां पतिः.
प्रसीदतां भगवान् सतां पति.
So the Prajapati is Lord Vishnu, and he is the Lord of all living creatures, all the worlds, all beauties, and protector of everyone. So therefore the Yajnapati is Lord Vishnu. So even though one may do yajna for demigods, you will, if you have attended any, what is that Satyanarayana Homa, very famous in India. Well, like that many homas are there. We do. At the end, one always has to chant the names of Lord Vishnu. You seen that? Lord Vishnu or Krishna. They either say Krishna Arpanamastu, or they say Om Achyutaya Namah, Anantaya Namah, Govindaya Namah, or some holy name of Krishna they have to chant. Only then the yajna is complete. If they do not do that, then even demigods will not get proper ahuti. Why? Because it is said, how much of yajna we may do, there is always some mistake in it. Mantastat tantatas chidram, it is said. There is some hole in our performance of yajna. And therefore Shukracharya says, if one actually has to perform a successful homa or sacrifice, one has to add Krishna's holy name towards the end. Then it becomes perfect. Okay. We'll go to the next verse. देवान् भावयतानेन
देवान् भावयतानेन
देव भावयन्तु वः
ते देव भावयन्तु वः
परस्परं भावयन्तः
परस्परं भावयन्तः
श्रेयः परम् अवाप्स्यत.
श्रेयं परमवाप्स्यथ.
The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all.
Yeah. So the demigods, you please demigods by yajna, and demigods will please us by giving all rains and mainly rains. He is talking about, and you will see the importance now. See, in this one important thing Sri Prabhupada mentions. Can someone read it? Can you read it?
Performance of yagyas has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from material bondage. By performance of yagyas, all activities become purified, as it is stated in the Vedas. Ahar shuddhau sattva shuddhau dhruva smriti lambhe sarva granthinam vipramoksha. By performance of yajna, one's eatable becomes sanctified, and by eating sanctified foodstuff, one's very existence becomes purified.
Yeah. So therefore it is said that whatever we consume or take from nature has to be first offered to Lord Vishnu. Because things in this world don't belong to us. Do you know that? It doesn't belong to us. I think one person, he was, he had his own company, glass industry. He was an industrialist. So this person went to Sri Prabhupada in Pune, he met him. So Prabhupada asked him, what do you do? He said, I'm an owner of a glass industry. Prabhupada said, so you must be a thief. He was shocked. How can Prabhupada call me a thief? He said, but Swamiji, I also give donations. And Prabhupada said, oh, then you must be a small thief. Isn't it? Why? Because to make glass, you need silica, like sand. That who produced? Who made the sand? Did you make the sand? No. You have to take from nature. But what did you give in return to the nature? Nothing. Like once there was a contest. There was a conference amongst all the scientists, all the top-notch scientists of the world, and then they decided on a roundtable conference that we don't need God anymore. Now we have so many gadgets, we have internet, we have money making, so many scams and so many things are going on. We can make money on our own. Who really does yajna to earn money nowadays? Anyone here? Performing yajna daily to earn money? We don't need Vedic sacrifices. So we don't need God. Let's go and tell him that we don't need you anymore. So two of them became the representative of the entire the group of scientists. And these two people went to God and they told God, so this is our decision, we don't need you anymore, thank you for your help till this. Now Tata Baba, you take care of yourself, we will take care of ourselves. Scientists when they told God like this, God out of his great compassion told the scientists, just a minute, before you jump to conclusions, first let us have a contest. If you win the contest, then I will agree that you guys are sustainable, self-sustainable, you don't need my help. Otherwise, I think you still need my help. Scientist said, okay, sure, you tell me what you have to do. He said, okay, level 1, you have to create a planet Earth. So of course God, as the Christian Bible says, he said, let there be light, and there was light. So he said, let there be earth, and earth was there. Scientists said, okay, that's a piece of cake for us. So immediately one of the scientists bent down to pick up the sand. Immediately God said, no, go and get your own sand. And that's where they failed. Isn't it? That means even to build an earth, they need God's sand. Even to build industry, we need raw materials from material nature. The scientists can show off that we don't need God, like the Communist Party. In Germany, during the World War, not in Germany, sorry, in the USSR, Russia, in those days, the Communist Party went with a truckload of bread, and they told all the residents there, go and pray to your God for bread. And all the residents with folded hands, they were praying, oh God, please give us our daily bread. Did bread appear in their hand? No. And then USSR, the Communist Party, they said, okay, you ask us for bread. They said, oh Communist Party, please give us bread. Immediately they opened the truck, and there was a truckload of bread, and they started giving out bread. But how unfortunate, they were not smart enough to understand where did they get their bread. Isn't it? So the Communist Party is telling all these people that we are your bread givers. But a smart man will actually question them, where did you get your bread? They took it from material nature. Isn't it? So therefore, we have to understand the ultimate beneficiary of all yajnas is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Why? Because Lord Vishnu is the ultimate proprietor, controller and enjoyer. Can you repeat after me? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam
Bhoktaram yajna tapasam
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram
Suhridam Sarvabhutanam
Suhridam Sarvabhutanam
Mam Shantim Richati.
Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati.
In this verse, this is called as the peace formula mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. We all want to become peaceful. But how can we become peaceful? If we are all looking for jobs now, if we are in the tension of visa and jobs and studies, will you really have a problem if you know Joe Biden is your very close friend? Not really. Like people in India, I know some students, they really don't care about or worry about getting an engineering seat or say medical seat for that matter. Why? Because his father has a good close contact with the local MLA. And because of which a phone call to the MLA will give them a seat in medical college. Now does he even have to worry about studying? I'm not inspiring in wrong direction, but this is just to give an example. When we have strong contact, we don't have to worry about things in this world. Similarly, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. In this world, everything belongs to me. I am the sole proprietor and controller of everything, and I am the beneficiary of all sacrifices. That means I am the enjoyer of everything also. Then one may say, so who cares, why are you glorifying yourself so much? No, but then he says, Suhritam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna says, but I am also the close heart-to-heart friend of all living entities. So such a person who is called as Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, he is the CEO and president of millions and millions of universes. Such a person is in your contact list. Anytime you can reach out to him on WhatsApp. Will you ever worry about visa? No, everything belongs to him. And therefore, a person who understands this Supreme Lord to whom everything belongs, under whose control everything is moving in this world, Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suite Sacharacharam, he says. And he is also the best of best friends of all of us. Then such a person attains peace in this world. Because we don't have to worry. Because the person under whom everything is under control, he is my best friend. He will not do anything bad to me. Isn't it? So therefore, in this world, everything belongs to God. And therefore, when we take anything, when we offer it, it becomes purified. Otherwise, we will see the next verse. Krishna says one who doesn't offer things in sacrifice, he becomes a thief. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva
Ishtan bhogan hi deva
dasyante yajna bhavitaha
dasyante bhavitaha
dattana pradayebhyo
Tedattana pradayebhyo
bhunte stena eva saha.
yo bhunte stena eva sa.
In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajnas, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods, in return is certainly a thief.
So now when people don't even know what is yajna, and that means naturally they're not offering. People don't usually offer food to Krishna and take. Mahaprasad, go to temple and eat, isn't it? So actually we are supposed to, as a part of our lifestyle, we have to offer whatever we eat to Krishna and eat. Then it becomes prasad. Prasad is nourishing to consciousness and doesn't produce sinful reactions. But anything eaten without offering to God, later on Krishna will say, don't get scared. He says such a person who eats only sin. Sin in form of a burger, sin in form of a pizza, sin in form of so many other things. Isn't it? So you will see, I cannot show you, I mean, it's too small. But there is a cycle of sacrifice. What is the cycle of sacrifice? For the Supreme Lord, Krishna is at the top. Krishna has given the Vedas. In the Vedas, there is prescribed actions to be performed in life. How to live life, the do's and don'ts. What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to act? And how not to act. Karma is mentioned. And part of that is performance of yajna to please the Supreme Lord. Who can repeat the 4 steps till now? Starting with Supreme Lord, ending with yajna. I already gave you 2 steps. Yeah.
So Lord Krishna has given the Vedas, and then Vedas describes do's and don'ts.
And one of the do is yajna, prescribed action. Isn't it? So now from yajna, what happens when you please the demigods? Yajna, you please demigods. So demigods give rains. Rains will give you grains. Grains nourish our body. And because the grains nourish our body, we have strength. So now whatever grains we take, we have to offer back to Krishna. Isn't it? Why? Because Krishna is giving the Vedas. Vedas is giving us prescribed action. Prescribed action tells us to perform yajna. Yajna gives us rains. Rains give us grains. Grains nourish us. And therefore whatever grains we take, we have to offer to Krishna. So this is a cycle of sacrifice. So anyone who does not perform the cycle of sacrifice is supposed to have only eaten sin, it says. You read this translation? So stenaha means thief. Apradaya ebhyaha, without offering to these demigods, yo bhunte stena eva saha. Such a person is only thief. Can you read the purport?
The demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajnas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigod is recommended. According to the different material qualities of the persons concerned, different types of yajnas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely, according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of material nature. And before the goddess, the sacrifice of animals is recommended.
Yeah, that means even if someone wants to eat meat, there is a procedure for it. In Islam, it is called as halal. What is the meaning of halal? Means there is a procedure where they have to actually divide the meat, or they have to cut in such a way that they only cut the nerve, but such a way that the pain is not inflicted on the the poor animal. Similarly, in Shakta scriptures, it is mentioned if someone wants to eat meat, for Shaktas 5 mas are allowed: Mamsa, Meena, Maithun, Madira, and one more ma, which means money. Mudra, which means money. So Mamsa is meat. Maithun is sex life. And Meena is fish. Madira is liquor. And Mudra is money. You can just say money. Famous. So for them, it doesn't mean because they are allowed to eat meat, they can eat whenever they want. No, there is restriction and regulation also. So if they have to eat meat, they are supposed to divide that meat. They have to, in the ear of the animal, they have to say Mam Saha. Means, I will be you. Mam Saha. I will be you. Next life. To this life, I am killing you so that I can enjoy my senses. Next life, you can kill me so that you can enjoy me. This is Mam Saha. Anyone knows this before? Anyone did Mam Saha in the animal here? No one does. This is actually the sacrifice to Kali. And that sacrifice, you cannot eat the entire goat yourself. You have to cut the goat into 7 pieces. 1 is for you, 6 you have to distribute. Isn't it? So anywhere in any religious scriptures, there is no support for slaughterhouses. Why? Because slaughterhouses means killing of animals on a huge scale, where they torture the animals brutally and they kill them mercilessly. Slaughterhouses are not supported in any religion, including those religions which support meat eating. Even for Shaktas. Why? Because for every animal they kill, they have to say Mamsaha. Not that they put it in a, in a machine and they keep sending chicken after chicken. That is not allowed. So therefore, all the slaughterhouses, that's completely sinful. It is called as Ugra Karma. Ugra Karma means very, how you can say Ugra? How can you say Ugra Karma? Yeah, something like very brutal type of karma, very intense type of karma, and done on a large scale. Like a man is taking a ship and going in the middle of the ocean and putting a drill and he's digging oil from the earth. Immediately it imbalances the earth. So now he's digging the oil and he is exploiting Mother Nature. So like this he is performing so much of Ugra Karma. And you will see there are so many industries. Now when you go to Vrindavan, it's not Yamuna flowing anymore. It's a Delhi sewage flowing. There's a documentary made by one of our devotees. It says that from Yamunotri, when the Yamuna comes, Yamuna is stopped at Delhi only. Most of the Yamuna water is diverted to rice crop fields in Punjab. Why? Because they want to export rice and make money out of it. And what do you get? In between Delhi comes. Delhi industrial waste and sewage is put in the channel of Yamuna. So what you get in Vrindavan, of course spiritually it's Yamuna we can say, but materially speaking, it's mostly it is Delhi sewage. And therefore it's not so clean anymore. Now they're trying to clean Yamuna and Ganga, but you know how big a project it is. It's not that simple. Why? Because people are not living lives based on sacrifice. Where is sacrifice? See, living life based on sacrifice means one is thinking of others. It is a concept contrary to selfish living. What is selfish living? Me and mine. Aham mameti. Isn't it? That is selfish living. Whereas life of sacrifice means thinking about others. Starts with God. Think about God and then you look at others as children of God. That is selfless living. And therefore sacrifice is mentioned in the Vedas. So, therefore meat eaters, here example Prabhupada gives, they are recommended to worship Kali, but that sacrifice also, there is some amount of rules and regulations how to do the sacrifice. You cannot open slaughterhouses. And what is the problem with Ugra Karma? Anyone knows? What happens when you do Ugra Karma? Heavy exploitation of material nature. So I'm saying Ugra Karma, if there's no problem, why not do it? Yes. When we do Ugra Karma, material nature doesn't have to worry about the individual karma. She will know the whole city is or whole country is very sinful. One tsunami and flood wipe out the whole population. This is result of Ugra Karma. And this is not me saying, for example, you know Einstein's pain wave theory?
Yeah.
Einstein's pain wave theory, some years ago, there was an earthquake in Nepal, which was pretty high on the Richter scale. So when they actually saw the, what is it called? The seismic point, the point of earthquake. seismic point, they found that seismic point was found located to a slaughterhouse where they were killing cows. So according to Einstein's pain wave theory, he says when cows are killed, they actually yell out a scream, a screech, and that also has an effect in creating these natural disturbances. See, this is all very subtle, we don't even know. And we are thinking, why is God putting tsunami, flood? We are so innocent. Not really. So therefore, problem with Ugra Karma is it increases natural disasters. Why then Durga doesn't have to take the headache of managing everyone's karma individually? They wipe out the whole race. Next batch. Isn't it? So therefore, we have to be very, very careful. So some people say, Lord Ram ate meat in Ramayana. They'll say, no. You know, Kshatriyas in the Vedic times ate meat. Did anyone open a slaughterhouse? Did they open a slaughterhouse industry where there's living entities are being tortured so brutally? Never. That is highly sinful. Of course, Lord Ram did not eat meat. Kshatriyas also. Few Kshatriyas did eat meat, but generally they did not eat meat. For that's another conversation. But still, this point also, their point is defeated. Why? Because they would never open slaughterhouse. You want to eat meat, follow the Vedic process. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. If one is selfish, still he has to regulate his desires by following a Vedic process. And that is called as Karma Kanda. But don't stop there. Become a Karma Yogi, Krishna tells Arjuna. That means you act on behalf of me. Okay, now we go ahead. There are different yajnas. Maybe we can just read.
One should know, however, that all the necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Take, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc. For the persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians, like meats, none of which can be manufactured by men. Then again, take, for example, heat, light, water, air, etc., which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by the human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, breeze, etc., without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord, with the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization.
Yeah. So therefore, Prabhupada is naming many elements in this world, but everything belongs to Krishna. Did you know your body also belongs to Krishna? So how many of you knew this before? Really? You know what it means? Body also belongs to Krishna. But you use the body in Krishna's service. That is the meaning of knowing that body belongs to Krishna. These one things, this is my code. Yeah, Krishna like it is said in Satyuga, the people then, the Satyuga Vasis, they would actually, whatever they would get, they would offer everything to Krishna. And then in Treta Yuga, what would happen? They would actually draw a big circle and they would throw a coin. It falls in the circle, belongs to Krishna. Falls outside, belongs to me. Then in Dwapar Yuga, they would draw a line and throw the coin. If it goes, that's it, Krishna's, otherwise it's mine. Kali Yuga, they would throw the coin. Whatever Krishna can catch, whatever falls down is mine. So like this, you can get an idea how the yajna, this concept of yajna deteriorated from Satya Yuga to Kali Yuga. Isn't it? In Kali Yuga, people don't care. They don't understand these things belong to Krishna. Therefore, Krishna in 7th chapter you will find Krishna says, Bhumera po nalo vayo kammano buddhire vacha ahankaram itiyam me binna me prakritit ashtadha. That means these 8 elements, which is the basis of entire material creation, Krishna says it is my separated energy. That means anything in this world material is made up of fire, bhumi apo nalo vayu. That means earth, water, fire, air, ether. So even the whatever elements or whatever gadgets you have, everything is made of these 5 elements. Anything material. The mridanga, the television, our dress, even our body is made up of these 5 elements. And even the 3 subtle elements, mind, intelligence and ego, Krishna says that's also my energy. So when you take this thing from Krishna and don't use it in Krishna's service, then Krishna says such a person is called as Stena Evahi. Therefore one becomes a thief. Because you're taking from someone but not using in his service. Isn't it? So sometimes people say, but Prabhu, I am the one who is eating and making sure I'm taking care of my body. So why should I use in Krishna's service? I am the one working hard for it. So now you say, say you want to build a home and you hire a contractor who will actually give you some labor force to build you your bungalow. Now you provide all the raw materials and the labor, he puts effort, the contractor does some whatever designing and he actually builds the home for you. Now after spending say 6 months to build your home, can the labor force say this is my home? Why not? Who put effort? Neighbors. Then why is not here? Why doesn't it belong to them? They put effort, so they have to take charge of the home. Isn't it? So how many of you would give the home to them? Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
They were acting on owner's behalf.
Yeah, they'll say owner's behalf or whoever's behalf, but I put the effort.
They didn't pay for it.
They didn't pay for what?
The material that was.
Materials. Because whom did they get the materials from? That is from the owner of the home. Isn't it? Similarly, in this world, we are taking a material, we are constructing whatever we want, but we are not giving back to Krishna. So we are like that labor force. We are getting the material. Material nature is providing under Krishna's order, but we are not even using in Krishna's service. And therefore such people are called as Stena. Stena thieves. So if we Hare Krishna. So if one wants to be happy, one cannot be a thief. Can thieves be peaceful and happy?
No.
Why not?
Fear of getting caught.
Fear of getting caught. Very good. Anything else?
The greed increases. Like, you need more and more.
Okay. Oh, greed increases. Okay. Anything else?
Insecurity of their money getting stolen.
You got to say. Yeah, insecurity of?
Their money getting stolen.
Not their money.
No, I mean the thing which they stole,
Okay.
the insecurity of getting stolen,
Stolen
things
money.
stolen like second hand.
In general, they can't be proud.
They cannot be proud.
In
Okay.
general, they can't accept it in front of everyone.
Okay, lot of under the table transactions happen.
Karmic reaction.
Karmic reaction, sin. So 2 most important points are, first of all, fear of getting caught. And therefore thief can never be anxiety ridden. Always his mind is filled with anxieties. And the first one is fear and second one is sin. Because one is taking without permission, one is actually taking without giving back to the owner. Therefore he actually incurs sinful reactions. Just like a thief is actually punished. Similarly, when we take without permission or we take from material nature without regulation based on the scriptures, when we try to enjoy in this world without understanding how to do it, then one actually incurs sinful reactions. You're not becoming too much sin, no? We don't want to sound like Christians. But it's important to know because this is basic principle even in society where we live. This is how it functions. Just if say, the person is walking on the street in the forest and he looks at a nice home in the forest. He goes in, there's a course, multiple course feast laid out in front of him. And he eats nicely. And then he goes, there's a nice bed, fluffy bed for him and he sleeps. Say then the owner comes. What do you think the owner will do to him? Yeah, he will hit him blue, black and kick him out of the home. Why? Because it's not his, it doesn't belong to him. One can say, Prabhu, but Krishna has given us so many things. My father says. He says that, why are you rejecting all these things? You have to enjoy, you have to have a home, you have to have a car, you have to enjoy in this world. Because Krishna is giving you so you can enjoy. Where Krishna said that? In the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying, I'm giving you cards so you can enjoy. No. Human life is a life of responsibility. It's not animal life. For animals, yes, they have no free will. So Krishna provides. But for human life, we have free will. How convenient philosophy it is to say, whatever I am getting, Krishna exists. Krishna is only providing me so that I can enjoy. This is not true. Actually, the purpose of human life is self-realization. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So, therefore, whatever we give, yes, Krishna wants us to enjoy, but there is a way to enjoy. Anyone knows what's the purpose of the material world? Why are we here?
Go back to Godhead.
To get out of it.
Yeah, we're here to get out of it. Okay. Yeah, we are here. Yes.
To enjoy basically. We came here to enjoy.
Honest answer.
I thought like Krishna created it to give us miseries, but we came
How
here.
much are you enjoying?
Not at all, bro.
So your goal is defeated.
Basically, Krishna created this to give us miseries, to understand that we cannot be happy.
Yes. Therefore, the material world is compared to a prison. You cannot enjoy much in a prison. Yes, someone can say, but I get food, I'm enjoying. Yeah, that enjoyment is there, no problem. A prisoner enjoys. Isn't it? We are not talking about that enjoyment. Real enjoyment for the living entity in prison is to quit the prison. Isn't it? Or sometimes material world is also compared to a hospital. Why? Because when you come to this material world to get well from the material disease called as lust, which is enjoying mentality. We wanted to enjoy separate from Krishna. Therefore, Krishna said, okay, go to the material world, get enter the school of hard knocks. Through experience, you understand you cannot enjoy separate from me. And now, understanding that from multiple lifetimes, we have understood something is there in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, we have some crowd amongst thousands and thousands of youths. We have some people hearing Bhagavad Gita because we have got kicks in our past life, or even this life. We have got kicks. Therefore, we are here. Otherwise, we will not be here. There's so many, especially in New York City. How can you be hearing Bhagavad Gita on a Sunday night? It's not possible. That means we have got some level of experience that there is no pleasure in this material world. To some degree, at least, we have realized it. Isn't it? So, therefore, we can only be happy when we give back to Krishna. And Krishna is not such a taskmaster that he says, okay, whatever I have given you, give me back everything. He doesn't do that. If you offer to Krishna, you cook some nice dish, you cook some nice gulab jamuns and offer to Krishna. If you offer him 10 gulab jamuns, his eating is different. Angani yasya sakalendra vritti manti. Pashyanti panti. Kalayanti. Chiranti. Who said Kalayanti? Yeah, so that means Krishna's senses is complete. With his eyes he can eat. With his eyes he can hear. His every sense has the function of every other sense. And therefore our senses are very limited. Our eyes can only see. His eyes can eat also. Isn't it? So therefore when you offer something to Krishna, don't be scared. Krishna will take everything. Krishna can eat by glancing. Because he eats seeing your devotion. You know that story when Krishna went to the palace of Duryodhana. And Duryodhana had organized a chappan bhog for Krishna. So a multi-course feast and the best, everything made in ghee. But Krishna was not a bit attracted. Why? Because he knew this is based on a political motive. There's no devotion, no aspect, no tinge of devotion here. So he left that and then he went home of Vidura. And Vidura was not at home, Vidrani was there. His wife was there. And when she saw Krishna, they were not living in a palace like Duryodhana. So they didn't have much. But looking at Krishna, she was so devoted to Krishna. Immediately she started crying tears. And she wanted to feed something to Krishna. She got some bananas. And she would take one banana, peel the banana, throw the fruit and give the peel. And Krishna ate that peel. Why? Because that peel had devotion. So Krishna, don't worry. Krishna is, of course, if you really want him to eat, you can eat also. But his eating is different from our eating. That I just wanted to make a point that when we offer to Krishna something, Krishna gives much more in return. By worshipping Krishna, we only stand to gain. So, in Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, one particular pastime comes. You know the fruit vendor lady
Yeah.
who brings so many fruits, going to home in Vrindavan, and she comes to the home of Nand Maharaj. She is probably carrying the best and juiciest mangoes of Vrindavan. That is the time Nand Maharaj, of course, in those days was like a barter system. So in turn, in exchange for grains, they would get fruits. That's how it would work. And they got some fruits, but then Krishna also saw, I also want some fruits, he thought. So Krishna, he's so small boy, so his hand's also very small. So he took few grains, but while going all the way to the fruit vendor lady, whatever grains were there also fell. Only few couple were remaining in his hand. And immediately he said, see, these are the grains I have brought for you, can you give me fruits? So looking at the beauty of Krishna, she was so mesmerized. She said, Krishna, I don't want anything from you. You just take how many fruits you want. And she filled Krishna's arms, and practically Krishna could not hold any more fruit. And he just went away. And she was so satisfied giving to Krishna. See, this is sacrifice. Sacrifice means what? We are actually giving, or we are actually, you can say, not losing, but we are actually, whatever resource we have, we are giving for a higher purpose. That becomes sacrifice. So she also, when she did this sacrifice, she became very happy and satisfied. And she just picked up the basket and she went. Some places it is said, Krishna wanted more fruit. She went and got more fruits and gave to Krishna. And now, after giving fruits to Krishna, she was so happy, thinking in her mind she was seeing how beautiful Krishna is, how beautifully he was walking, how cute he was looking. She is just thinking about the form of Krishna. And immediately she felt the basket was becoming very heavy. So she could not take it all the way home, and she just put it down for some time to see how it becomes so heavy. Immediately there was gold ornaments and gold coins and everything. But she did not give to Krishna for gold. That is the point to be noted. Don't try this at home. So she gave to Krishna to please Krishna. Isn't it? She gave wholeheartedly, and that is called as yajna. So therefore, when we do yajna, immediately a byproduct of yajna is satisfaction. You will find many of our students, they do prasadam serving. When they do prasadam serving, sometimes they say, we tell Prabhu, have you taken prasadam? They say, oh, I'm satisfied with serving. Why? Because yajna, the principle of yajna is so strong. Anywhere you sacrifice a little, you feel happy. Why? Because this is the nature of this material world. And Krishna has designed this material world in such a way that yajna can lead to advancement, even materially speaking. And that yajna finally leads to even liberation. Isn't it? So that's what is being discussed. Can you just go through the verses? See, Prabhupada says this. Sorry. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross materialistic thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They're simply directed towards self gratification. That means they keep on taking and taking, thinking that I will be happy by taking, but they do not know the happiness truly comes by giving. They don't know that. Yeah. Some people understand and they just give, but they don't give to God. Actually, worshipping Krishna is like watering the root of a tree. Would you water the bark of a tree? Would you water the leaf of a tree? Would you water the stem of a tree? No, you water the root of a tree. It will save you time. Isn't it? You put water to the roots, the whole plant is nourished, becomes very healthy. So similarly, when we worship Krishna, it's like watering the root of a tree. You don't have to water anything separately. When all the demigods become pleased, all the people in this world will become pleased. And therefore, one devotee was saying, even if this world is going on, some level of happiness is there in this world, some level of peace is there. Why? Because there are some devotees chanting Hare Krishna and pleasing Krishna. You remove all the devotees from this world, you will get darshan, sakshat darshan of hell. You can find here also there is hell. You will get a glimpse of it. But you remove all the devotees, you can see complete hell. And because there are some devotees offering sacrifice to Krishna, That means they're worshipping Krishna, they're offering what they eat to Krishna, and because of them, this material world is still you can stay for some time. So we'll just do the verses and we'll conclude. यज्ञशिष्टासिनः सन्तो
यज्ञशिष्टासिनः सन्तो
मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः
मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः
ते त्वगं पापा
एते त्वगं पापा
ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्
ये पचन्ते आत्मकारणात्.
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin.
Yeah, we'll discuss about it. अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि
अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि
अन्नादन्न सम्भवः
पर्जन्यादन्न सम्भवः
भवति पर्जन्यो
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यो
कर्मसमुद्भवः
यज्ञात् कर्मसमुद्भवः.
All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, and yajna is born of prescribed duties.
So this is what the cycle of sacrifice Krishna talks about this in next verse. I don't want you guys to miss Prasada. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विधि
brahmakshara samudbhavam
ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितं
यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्.
Regulated activities are prescribed in Vedas, and Vedas are directly manifested from Supreme Personality of Godhead.
You know, understand anything? Yeah, consequently.
Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is internally situated in the acts of sacrifice.
So Krishna gives Vedas, Vedas give karma, karma gives yajna, yajna gives parjanya, rains give grains give nourishment to the living entity, living entities again do yajna. Yeah? And the last one, if you don't do yajna, what happens? Most important verse. Evam pravartitam chakram
एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं
वर्तयति यः
नानुवर्तयति यः
अघायुर इंद्रिया रामो
अघायुरिन्द्रिया रामो
पार्थ स जीवति
मोघं पार्थ स जीवति.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for satisfaction of senses, such a person lives in vain.
Yeah. And in this world, if there is any amount of suffering, it's on account of sin. Only a sinful person suffers. So therefore, we have to let us try to live in a cycle of sacrifice, trying to be more giving, trying to offer whatever we get first to Krishna. Thank Krishna. We can always say thank you to Krishna, isn't it? By that we actually make the cycle of sacrifice part of our lifestyle, and then we can actually be happy, satisfied in this world. So we'll stop here. So thank you everyone for your kind attention. Next time we'll continue from verse 17 onwards. All of you can come to